What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tyler. The truck is the Sandworm, and today we're going to be doing another install. The last install, I believe, I installed chase lights. Well, I took those down for a couple of reasons, but before we get to those reasons, make sure you like and subscribe. Check out the website for some t-shirts, and throw the intro. Alright guys, so last install video I installed chase lights. They were the yellow amber chase lights. So I took those down for many reasons. I don't Baja the truck or anything, so I don't really need the dust lights or anything like that. The only way those would really be useful for me is if I needed to be in the back of the truck on a trail or something, which I don't know. To me, they weren't that useful. It's something I was trying out. Like I have these bed lights, so if I need light in the bed, I already have those installed, and those run straight off the battery, so I don't have to have the truck running. With the chase lights hooked up to the aux beam switch, truck had to be running for them to turn on. So anyways, I ended up getting rid of those chase lights and gave those to some buddies at work. They have some side-by-sides that I thought it would work better for them. But one thing that I realized would probably be more useful for me is my camping and my night trail scenarios is having perimeter lighting instead of the reverse lighting. So if you're on a trail and you know it's nighttime, pitch black, you can't see anything. Yeah, I have all the forward facing lights. I can see everything in front of me, but you really can't see stuff to the side of you because all the lights reflecting off the front, causing your vision to, you know, go darker along the sides of the trucks. And I do have rock lights, they help a little bit, but in this scenario, this perimeter lighting that I'm going to be doing will help with camping, like walking the dogs, checking anything around the truck that I need to check, getting gear out of the passenger, setting up the tent at night. This will help because last time I set up the tent, I had the truck used as a wind blocker, so it was pulled in long ways. So I was setting up a tent on the side of it instead of in front where I would usually use like the KC lights. So that scenario, these lights would have came in handy if I had them. And these are a flood beam, a wide beam. So they stretch out really wide. And I'm sitting here telling you what light pattern they are, but I haven't showed you what lights they are yet. So I actually bought, so you guys know Morimoto sponsored the truck with the third brake light, but I actually went ahead and purchased these ones from Morimoto because I was looking at their website until a couple months ago. I didn't even know they had off-road lights. And we did actually install the 4Bangers on my neighbor's GMC Sierra, the amber ones, the fog light kit, because I tested those out to see if they would fit these 24 Canyons. They didn't, unfortunately, but I went ahead and got the 2Bangers, and that's these, and you can get these in spot, flood, or a wide beam. I think these are a combo. I actually don't remember because they were back ordered, so I don't remember what I ordered, honestly. I'd have to look. But anyways, these are SAE certified. They're a flood beam, so if you put these on the front of your truck, like down low, you could use them as a fog light if you wanted. But I'm using them as perimeter lighting, and I already have one set up, so I'm going to show you everything that comes in the box and then show you how I'm going to set them up because I fit tested one. But this is the box, so you'll open the box up and you get this nice little preview. They need to add a Morimoto, you need to add a GMC Canyon instead of a Tacoma. So that's what comes, that's how the box comes, and then you get two of the lights plus the bracket, and they show in their photos online that the bracket will sit like that on the bottom. I actually have mine sitting like this, and it works, and they're kind of going to be pointed down like that. And then you get these big ass bolts that will not fit and a roof rack. So you're gonna have to get your own hardware if you want to do this. I'll link the stuff on Amazon that I use. It's cheap and they work. So these are some of the ones. These are kind of a smaller version, so that's what I'm going to be using. And then because the head of these bolts are smaller, I have to put a washer over them to make sure it doesn't go through all the way. And then they send you pigtails, which I think I left the extra one in the house. And then the way I'm going to route the wires is, last video I showed that you can get these from Sherpa. And what these do is they have this little T down on the bottom, so you'll snap that into your roof rack, and then as you can see they have that little cutout right there, so you can put a zip tie in, run your wires across the top, and then zip tie it over, so you can, you know, snake your wires however you want through the roof rack and they're not popping up or anything. So I'm going to use these, and I'll link those are from Sherpa, and then I'll link the Amazon hardware kit. But let me show you. So this is what I'm going to do. I already got this one kind of bolted down. So because of the pigtail back here, I couldn't push this bottom one into the hole far enough. And I don't think even if I flip this bracket that wouldn't work, because it just, it just wouldn't work. But it's tight enough, it's not going to move. And I can loosen those a little bit if I want to tilt this up, but those are actually at the perfect angle. So I've got the pigtail plugged in and going back here. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm gonna use those Sherpa things. Those will snap into this channel and I'll be able to run my wire even across these boards right here, these beams, whatever you want to call them, these channels. And then I'll route it up down the little strip hider thing right here. I'll route it down here and inside there, and then down the hood into the switch panel. So it should be a pretty easy install. And then I'll show you how bright they are when it becomes night, so we can see around the truck and stuff. I'll back it out of the garage and we can check it out. But to me, these are going to be more useful to my situation rather than the chase lights, because I do a lot more camping and slow night trails than I do Baja stuff, where those would have come in handy. Those would still come in handy if you got a backup on trails and stuff. Just my situation, I think these are better suited for me. And you know, that's what this channel is for, is to test things out, try things out, to see what you guys want to do with your own trucks. But anyways, let's go ahead and get the other one installed so you can kind of see how I did that. I mean, it's not hard, but I'll show you how I did that and then we'll get it wired up. All right, so because of the way I got to do this, I got to put the brackets on first. So I just kind of put the bracket up there, put the bolt through with the washer on, and then because these bolts technically are too small for this installation, I got to use washers on both sides just to kind of hold it up there. There's definitely a more professional way to do this, but that's not me, so we're doing it this way. So since I got both the washers on, and then I put, if I don't fall, I got this, dang it. Don't fall. Yeah, I've got this quick release mount for my box up here, so I got to work around it a little bit. And these are the locking nuts, so you can only get them so tight, and then you got to use a socket. But we've got that on there, and then I got to find another bolt and nut, because I thought I grabbed 4, but I guess not, so I got to grab those real quick. Okay, so I found the other bolt. So I'll loosely put these in here as well. I'll set that there so I don't drop it. Oh, why did that one go on so easy? That one went on way easier. It'd probably be best to actually like get the correct hardware, but since I don't have the correct hardware, I have to use a ratchet. If I can get this on here. I have to use a ratchet and a flathead screwdriver to kind of hold the bolt into place while I tighten it, the nut. So, and okay, so had some difficulty with this one, so I had to find a different tool. I'd use a wrench because of my quick release mount for the box. My ratchet wouldn't fit in there. But anyways, we've got the wires in there. We've got the lights all mounted up. They're sturdy, even with one bolt. It's got Loctite on it, so it'll hold. But now what I'm gonna do is route the wire up to under the hood and get everything to where it needs to be, and then wire everything up. And I'll show you guys how those Sherpa wire mounts, how they work once I get everything up there, and then we'll test them out. Okay guys, I want to show you these Sherpa wire routers. So you just set them in there and twist them, and then you zip tie your cable to run along the channels however you want. You can go that way, whatever. So I routed it from the hood up the windshield and all the way back down there. And so when you stand, you don't see any wires, you don't see anything. And then I zip tied them inside, well, not inside, but into the wire that's in there. So now we just got to plug it up, test them out, see how it is. We're going to wait for it to get a little bit darker out, and then we'll test them. But all we got to do is wire it up. Like I say in every video where I wire lights up, get you some kind of switch panel. It makes this so much easier. But we'll check back in once it's dark out and test them. All right guys, my mic stopped working. I think it died. So we're going to turn on the perimeter lighting real quick. Got it all hooked up, and we'll see how it looks. So I think you can kind of see the beam right here. I think if you do this, you might want to get the flood beams from Morimoto, because I think these are the wide, like fog light type beams, because they don't go out very far. So I might end up, I left enough wire to actually put those on the back in case that were to happen. So I'm going to adjust those. I might put them on the back. Might do something different with them because just the beam pattern's a little not flood for like camping or whatever. It's also not that dark, so I might sit over here and wait for this floodlight to shut off and then see what happens. Okay, so due to the beam of these Morimoto 2-banger lights that I got, since I got the wide beam, I went ahead and added them to the back over here, and way better than the perimeter side lighting, because, well, it didn't work for the perimeter lighting just because they were like super wide light. So anyways, ended up using these as chase lights. I recommend the Morimoto lights. They're super bright. If you want them for perimeter lighting, get the flood beam. Otherwise, if you're using them chase lights or on the front, get the wide 40, I believe is what it is, or wide, I don't remember exactly what it is, combo or something. But definitely recommend that for the back or the front. But perimeter lighting, get the flood. Anyways, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.